Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Joey Knight Jr. here, and today we are going to do another comic book review, and that comic book review is Rippaverse Comics, Yaira #2. As you can see, the beautiful artwork right there of cover A, and then cover D right there as well. As always, I get 2 copies of every Rippaverse comic. Cover A is my keep copy, cover D is my read copy. And Jen, Sylvia, Saska's, we're going to talk about Yaira, all right, because y'all are putting her through it on both ends of the spectrum, all right, whether it's Yaira or it's Dr. Sally Rodell. She's being taken to task on both ends in this book, all right. We do see, gonna get into some slight spoiler territory. I'm gonna kind of go over what happened without really getting into the details of the book. So we kind of see more of Dr. Sally than we did in the last book, I would say, because after the events of Yaira 1, Yaira is presumed out of commission, out of action. Some may presume her as dead after the events of Yaira 1, but she was, at the very end of the book, she was saved, presumably by Neptune. She woke up in Atlantis, and now, as Dr. Sally Rodell, through Projexis, she wants to go explore Atlantis. And that's why she's going to get through the Dr. Sally end, because she meets some people and they're already not a big fan of her. And when she decides, hey, I want to go explore Atlantis, that just makes everything worse for her on the Dr. Sally Rodell end. And then we do see Alpha Core and Stefania Martinez for a little bit. Stefania's now a cadet in the Alpha Core. And for those who don't know from the first book, Stefania is one of Yaira's descendants. But Stefania doesn't know that. All she knows is that Yaira ended up getting her abuela killed. At least in her mind. Her abuela dying is Yaira's fault. So Stefania has made her mission that she is going to be the one to put down Yaira permanently. And she is not getting along with pretty much anyone in Alpha Core, as we see in Yaira #2. And now more on the Yaira front. Yaira does reconnect with a friend from the past, from her home planet, while also, and this is how she's getting it from the Yaira end, just the bad hand. She's having visions, she's having constant nightmares of seeing her family from a long time ago on Earth being killed and it being her fault. And it's definitely messing with her. It's definitely throwing her off her game, where she doesn't know at times what is reality and what is, false reality, what isn't real. And that ends up biting her in the butt a little bit at the very end of the book, what happens. But yeah, that's all the spoilerish talk I'm gonna get into it, the light spoilers. That's just kind of like the overview of what's going on in Yaira #2. I highly recommend. I know for sure cover D, which would be this one right here. I know cover D is always the one that's going to be available at the Rippaverse. Whether the other copies are available or not yet, I haven't checked to see if they're still available. But I highly recommend you get Yaira #2. And if you didn't get Yaira #1, I highly recommend that one. Yaira #2, though, it's definitely much more of a lighter read than Yaira 1, because, Yaira 1, we're getting introduced to Yaira, the Saskas were laying all the groundwork. Well, not all the groundwork, but a lot of groundwork for Yaira's world. And this one, we're kind of expanding a little bit more on all fronts of the groundwork that was laid down for us in Yaira #1. Overall, man, just when I thought, I always go back and forth on my 3 favorite characters in the Rippaverse being Yaira, Bloodroof, and the Horseman. And, Bloodroof came out not too long ago. Just when I think Bloodroof's my favorite character, once again, the Yairas just slide in there with Yaira #2. And it's like, oh no, I think Yaira's my favorite character in the Rippaverse. But they absolutely killed it with this one. I'd say a solid, 8.5 out of 10. Without really thinking about it. If I really think about it, I could bring it up to a 9 maybe. But just another solid book by the Saska twins. They did incredible with this one. They're doing an awesome job, whether it's Yaira or Bloodroof, and they do have more projects down the line later this year and onward forward in the Rippaverse, and I can't wait for all of them. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of Yaira number 2 if you've read it. And if you, like I said, if you haven't read Yaira number 1, if you're kind of thinking like, I don't know, like I like the Saskas, I like their horror movie stuff, and I like what they did with Black Widow or, you know, their stuff in DC, but I just don't know. Do yourself a favor, get it. Yaira 1 and 2, awesome books. Overall, in the whole scheme of the Rippaverse, both Yaira books are definitely amongst my favorites in the whole universe right now. So yeah, highly recommend you get Yaira number 2. So let me know in the comments down below if you've read it, what you thought of Yaira number 2. But don't just comment. Remember to like, share, but most importantly of all, subscribe to Joey Knight Jr. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.